South Korean president declaring martial law in a late-night TV address. CNN's Mike Valerio joining us now from Seoul. Mike, I know the detail pretty sketchy at this point. What do we know?
Well, we have disturbing details that are just crossing the Reuters wire, Becky, as our colleagues and team of journalists are sorting through what this means. Reuters reporting at this hour that all media in South Korea are coming under the control of martial law command in South Korea. What that means for us here at CNN, unclear. Our bureau's broadcasting from the heart of Seoul, South Korea. But protesters, according to information that is just coming into our bureau here, are being told by law enforcement that they can be arrested without any warrant in this new chapter of martial law that has begun just about an hour and a half ago. So to bring our viewers up to speed, what exactly we're dealing with here, the president of South Korea, Yoon Suk-yeol, comes on TV in an unannounced address to the nation and says, Becky, because of what he described as elements of government that are, from his view, sympathetic to North Korea, to communist forces, because of those things and others, he is declaring martial law for the first time since this country has been ruled by military dictatorship in the 1980s. Now, we are trying to sort through what this means for democracy in this bastion of democratic rule in East Asia. I live about just a couple minutes away from where we're broadcasting from. There are police, Becky, who are on their phones, calling their captains, calling their colleagues, asking, what are they to do? What does this mean? What is going on in the building that I live in? And when you're just walking through the streets, there are people who are running to their families' homes to be with them, to figure out what to do to be close to loved ones in this moment that is unprecedented in so many of our memories. So
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm Gray Marsh. It's Vulgar, Jay, and Slim.
Yeah, 85 Slim in the building. Sorry on the mute.
Go ahead, Nora.
And tonight on the new party, we're going to be discussing martial law declared today in South Korea. Is this what America can expect from another conservative president? And I'm going to say that because this was the leader of the Conservative Party of South Korea. All in 24 hours, the president banned protests and censored media. However, the parliament rejected the decree and votes to restore the constitutional order by 190 to 0. So entire parliament voted against it. The army stormed the parliament to arrest MPs. And citizens stormed the streets to protest and block the army. So tonight, let's talk about this. Jay, as the most left on the line, what's your thoughts about what happened?
Well, and keep in mind, guys, I say this objectively. This is what happens when you have a right-wing president afraid of losing power. The parliament is majority left-wing. They've been impeaching a lot of his cabinet. He's been suffering a lot of scandals. And he's afraid he's going to get impeached himself. And the thing about all right-wing presidents do this from all the way back is they always have that communist boogeyman, because it's a vague term you can say, like, why did you declare martial law? Oh, because we're afraid of communists taking over the government. And that's his excuse. Trump did the same thing when he was talking about Kamala. He's like, the radical left and their communist Marxists. It's just a term they can throw out. And everyone's like, yeah, that sounds scary. And it's like the same playbook over and over again. And could we expect it from another conservative president? If Trump's afraid of being impeached, if the midterm elections go Democrats' way and they flip, if he's afraid of getting impeached, it's not beyond his power at all. That's well within Trump's playbook. I mean, conservatives already, during the Black Lives Matter protests, they tried to make it legal to hit protesters with your cars, or at least to make you non-liable. Like, being anti-protest is standard conservative right-wing. Like, it's not something that we're just making up. It's every country, every right-wing playbook it's pretty much the same.
35, would you like to respond? I think you're the most far right on the line. I think that's fair to say.
Oh yeah, for sure. I love it too. I mean, as far as what what they're doing with martial law, I think it needs to happen here. I think it's going to happen here. And there's no other way around it. To be honest with you, when you call the biggest mass deportation the country's ever seen, you actually pretty much are letting people know this is going to be a big thing. The police can't take part in this. They probably can, but in order to do what he's trying to do, you have to bring in martial law. So do I think Trump is going to do so? Yes, I think he has to do it. There's no other way to fix this because this is what the Democrats did to ruin the country. They brought in a lot of illegal immigrants, so now it's game on. And the only way to fix this is it's going to get worse before it gets better.
I have one question. How did the Democrats bring in illegal immigrants?
By letting them in the border, by not closing the border and letting them all come in. We got like 10 million plus up in the country that don't belong here.
The current border crisis started in 2019, right, when Trump was president?
Well, Trump was trying to build a wall to prevent this.
He never actually tried to build a wall. What he actually asked for funds for was repairing existing border structure, most of the money which was for cameras.
I hear you. If you want to get all political and all that,
if you want to get all factual,
if you want to get there, the bottom line is it's illegal people in our country that don't belong here. We can't go to any other country and come to the back door. We can't get money from any other country. They will not allow it. So why the hell should we? Yes,
we don't allow it. We settled this last time. We looked it up. Illegal immigrants can't get welfare.
Now they can.
Let's move on and give Ray a chance to speak.
As of
what I would say, and forgive me, guys, I got a sore throat. I try to keep up tonight, but I would say martial law needs to be like a last resort, no matter what the country is like. You need to be like invaded, or there's like a massive plague or something, like the very last resort, because.
How about when they try to steal our country? Is that not a good reason?
Who's trying to steal?
No.
Who's trying to steal?
This is like normal life. This isn't The Walking Dead. This isn't like you need full military power to keep the peace, because like not only are the people who are there going after going to be affected, the people who they're saying soldiers or police or whoever who have to enforce this might also be affected due to them doing this. And a lot of times when people do coups and things like that, people who are in the military end up overthrowing the government. So Trump may do that, and then the military overthrow him. So like that should be a last resort.
I'm gonna let somebody else touch on that before I speak.
I agree. It should be a last resort. Definitely, that's gonna mess up a lot of people's lives. I like the approach that they're trying to take. They're trying to get the states and local governments to cooperate by giving up vendors. I think that's a good course to start with, but martial law may be too much.
There's no other way around it, though. There's no. If you guys have a better alternative, if you think that there's going to be some people that's going to leave quietly. Let's just be honest, right? But let's be real. There's criminals involved with this too. You think they just gonna leave?
No, I agree, but I agree like there's no better way. But I think it's like it's gonna be like chemo. Like it's the nuclear option, really. I don't think it's worth it.
I think if they had the police in their face, they're gonna say, okay, well, I'm gonna leave. Like, because they probably have children that's American citizens.
They're gonna kill the police, man.
I don't think it's gonna be like this big, aggressive like war that you think it's gonna be. I think it's probably gonna be very civil, like people getting arrested and people being deported. I don't think it's gonna be this crazy situation with people being shot and fights in the street. I don't think.
Pray to God, you're right.
I totally disagree. These people that have come here are from chaotic, violent countries. They are used to chaos and violence. I disagree. Venezuela is chaotic. Honduras is chaotic. There's a reason why they ran and plead for these countries. They're not going to go back willingly, unfortunately. And I feel sad for them because the places they left are the worst in the world.
Yeah, martial law might still be too much though.
You're right, but Volga,
I mean, I agree. I'm not
they're
saying
gonna,
that, but still.
if the
It's
police
gonna
get
create a civil
involved,
war.
you think the police can handle
Yeah.
this? The
It's
regular
gonna create a
police?
civil war by doing that. Because
But I'm asking you though.
we already on the verge of a civil war.
The first
Facts.
one, the first Civil War never ended.
With the governments going against, they're trying to suit up to go against Trump, which I don't agree with. I think everybody needs to cooperate, but they need to be out of here. But martial law is just too much.
It's
Hey.
also not going to happen because it's going to get tied up in court for 4 years easily. Because people forget. Because people forget the Constitution doesn't apply to American citizens; it applies to everyone on U.S. soil.
Well,
And
Jay, can you hear me for a second?
There's going to be so much due process laws. It's not going to happen.
You want to know
Martial law
something
would be the
though,
only
Jay?
way he could do it.
You want to know something? You got to remember the people voted for this, and he promised the people that he would do this.
He promised the people a wall. He promised the people repealing and placing Obamacare.
And you guys stopped it,
sorry.
though.
He doesn't
He was
care.
building the wall. You guys stopped it
He
when he
never
came
built
through.
a wall. Go look. He never built a wall.
In Texas, y'all just never went down there. That's the problem. Kamala ain't never been down there to see the wall.
He
Just
requested funds to repair existing border structure.
Bro,
he was actually. I went down near San Diego to see. It was actually going on.
It's a wall down there, bro.
Yeah. No, they don't believe it. There's tons of videos. Everybody watching, if you really want to see what's going on at the border, it's not
the same fence is there.
Yeah.
Bro, listen. At the end of the day,
that's not the border that's chaotic. Parts are in Texas, Arizona, New Mexico. Those are the parts that they're able to get through.
The Democrats' agenda was to let these people in the country, give them money, so they can basically have the right to vote, and they would vote Democrat for the rest of the century.
They cannot vote. They don't get money. Where are you getting this from?
Bro, they was trying to take away voter ID rights. Don't you see how strategic the Democrats was playing these games?
Voter ID is not a right. If you need to show your ID to vote, it's not a voting is not a right because IDs aren't a right.
You watch a lot of CNN, bro.
Dude, I don't watch corporate news, first of all, and second,
you have to. You doing something on your phone or something.
No. Okay, let me explain.
I'm the only person here that
voting laws are state. Voting laws are by the state. The federal government was trying to pass or stop states from requiring IDs, which states should be able to do because states are supposed to be sovereign. I keep repeating that, but that's what it is. The federal government should not be stepping in on voting laws because that's a state's issue, not a federal issue.
Well, if states are sovereign, then why should the federal government be able to tell you what to do with your police and deputize them into basically deporting people? If the state doesn't want to, they should be able to say no, right?
It depends on if the states were Democratic or not.
But hold on,
Democratic governors, it didn't matter.
That's not what Tom Homan basically said was in Title 8, it is illegal to harbor an illegal immigrant. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna say what it is. They're illegal. It's illegal to harbor them, and it's a felony. So he's like, I'm not going to control you, but if you go ahead and do this, I'm going to charge you on a federal level with the felony. That's what he said. That's not controlling. That's giving you a choice. He's not telling you I'm going to do anything. He's saying if you go against me, you're going to pay for it. There's a consequence. Which
that's
I agree
a new
with.
guy over the.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, okay.
The nominee, or is he a nominee, or is he actually going to be in place?
I don't know. I think everybody
got
to be. They got to be appointed.
Yeah.
Well, not the FBI. Maybe the FBI director is the only one that's for sure. It's a nominee. He has the position.
I like him,
and that's
by
why
the way.
Trump took so long.
Yo,
and
he's
I don't
been
know if you guys
exposed to
heard,
the
but
world.
the DEA pick, he declined it today. He announced that he doesn't want to do it. He's from Florida too.
Who?
He's from my city. He's from Tampa.
Who didn't want to do it?
He declined it. The DEA pick, he turned it down.
It was because he was a sheriff and it was a pastor that he arrested because he wanted to stay open during COVID. So the right wing people went after him, saying, "Oh, he went after a pastor during COVID," and I believe the pastor was black as well.
Hey, it is what it is. He don't qualify.
I remember that.
So yeah. let's shift gears here, guys. We're going to talk about the Kendrick Lamar situation. So I don't know if many people heard, but Drake actually filed a lawsuit last week against UMG, and this is the Breakfast Club breaking down the lawsuit. And I blame Drake for being mad. I know not one song he had against Kendrick. And let's not forget, he beefed with Meek Mills, Kanye West, P. Diddy, 85. I know you're a
Pusha
lover of
T.
hip hop. What's your
Pusha T
thoughts
was the best
on
one.
this?
Wait,
Right.
Oh man. First off, I want to give a shout out to the Breakfast Club. It seemed like they waking up. I seen that episode. He did say some positive things, but Milk Dud Head
After he
Charlemagne
said
is
the horrible things, and he could have
he said a whole lot of horrible things.
That's okay.
But Milk Dud Head, I call Charlemagne Milk Dud Head because he always, got something to say about black and white and all that. So I'm gonna just leave that part alone. But let's think about this really quick, guys. This lawsuit has nothing to do with what the media is saying. It has everything to do with Drake doesn't want this song to be performed at the Super Bowl. However you guys want to slice the pie, that's what this is about.
I think it's deeper than that.
It could be deeper than that, but
I'm gonna tell you when you get done.
That lawsuit should have been in the makings the second or third week of the song dropping, if that was the case. You see what I'm saying? So for him to go at it now, he knows that the Super Bowl is the most watched game in history. Like, that's just what it is. People is watching in and they tuning in, and more people are going to tune in to see Kendrick perform that song. Drake doesn't want that song performed at the Super Bowl. That's my take on it.
Go ahead, Bogle, yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question real quick?
Go ahead.
Do you know how J. Cole responded first and he made a diss track, and then 2 days later he deleted it and then apologized? Do you think he did that because he knew where Kendrick was going to take it to the pedophilia stuff?
Yes, he knew. He got a. I'm a big. Can I answer that, and I'm gonna let y'all go because I think I'm the biggest J. Cole fan on this panel. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I was at the concert when it happened. The Saturday before J. Cole performed, Schoolboy Q was there. If you look back, Schoolboy Q,
him.
J. Cole, all those guys were in the same class together back in the days.
Yes.
So when that happened, Kendrick had problems with Drake over the Control song. Drake was the only one that responded negative on the Control song. Kendrick went at everybody, but everybody showed him love except for Drake. This is after they made songs together. And from that day, Kendrick had a vengeance toward him. So most of the diss tracks that the world is hearing were already recorded prior to the battle. So when he tell you how many more I got in stock, he's saying I got 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5. He telling you I got more for you. Schoolboy Q told Cole, yo, bro, this is deeper. This ain't just a battle. This is a personal vendetta. And he's going to go at this dude with allegations. I think you should sit back.
Yep.
That's what that was.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, he was tipped off. Yep.
Yeah, he was tipped off. He didn't want that. J. Cole too laid back for that.
So I think it's two parts. I think it's the Super Bowl, like you said. And I also think that after this battle, Drake doesn't have the clout that he used to have, and he was advanced. That, what was it, like 400 million?
Mm-hmm.
And he's trying to find some way up out of this contract.
Because he don't think he's going to deliver. Because now,
I
mean, that song really hurt him. My 10-year-old even knows it.
He'll have to twerk for the rest of his life to pay that off.
Yeah, he's going to be in debt for the rest of his life unless he bring down UMG and make them want to just let him, like, you know what, if we let you out of this. And that's what he's thinking. I'm going to go further into this too. I did my research on this. I'm going to go even further on why Drake is screwed over this. But yeah, I think that's what really happened. He's trying to get out of that advance he got. Because they don't pay you by album. They give you advances so you can go do this and that. He probably spent a lot of that. So
Cash Money for Life. I'm rocking with Drake and Weezy. J. Cole trash.
Like you said, but you know what? You just bought out something else. He gotta pay Birdman too. So he might already gave him money. He's in debt.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the Super Bowl, it's embarrassing, but I think it's more about Like
What's
he's
the
in
deeper
debt.
thing? You said you had more to say. What's the deeper thing?
It's the
The
400
deeper
million.
thing is, do you know who UMG is owned by? I don't know. Like, yeah, if you go on the stocks and stuff, like it's the same thing Diddy's in trouble for about BlackRock.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So
Yes.
UMG is owned by Vanguard, which is another company that just buys up a bunch of businesses they invest. And BlackRock and like Vanguard, they're worth trillions. I think it's like 20 something trillion they're worth. So now with him suing UMG, that's a hit towards Vanguard. And with them being at the top like that, these are the people who really run the country and run the world. And there's already videos of Drake, you know, kissing that 17-year-old, keeping in touch with 14-year-olds.
Kiss the 17-year-old?
Yeah, there's a video out there. He kissed her, and then he found out she was 17, and then still went at her.
He found out.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jay.
Go ahead,
Well,
Jay. Yours. Go.
I was gonna say Drake's loophole is kind of like what he's using is that in Canada, that's legal, and that's like his like.
He sounds like Andrew
Did-
Tate.
did-
We
did
talked
you
about
see-
him last
did-
week.
did you
Jay.
see
I'm not
what-
justifying. I'm not justifying.
Did you see
it,
what
but I'm
Trump
like,
just did to their prime minister?
I
Do
think
you
that's
think that
his,
matter
like-
if it's legal in Canada?
What's up?
Did you see what Trump just did to Canada's prime minister?
To Trudeau?
He's talking about making Canada a 51st state.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
I made a video.
That happened
on
here.
TikTok.
If those charges come against Drake, he's coming to America.
Yeah, but he was joking. He
That's
wasn't
not gonna
serious.
happen.
He was
That
I know,
would
joking.
never happen.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
It was intimidating.
Y'all want to play
Trump also said he was
around.
gonna buy Greenland. Come on,
Yeah.
Trump just talks.
Y'all know that
Everyone-
case.
I know he's joking, but it's still
Everyone knows
intimidating
he
to
just talks.
Canada.
Y'all know that case that that rapper
If
got
America
killed.
want Drake, they gonna get Drake.
That
That's
XXX.
what I'm saying.
What Slim? What we saying?
That rapper XXX Tentacion.
Oh,
that got arrested
yeah.
in Florida. That's starting
Yeah.
to resurface, and the
Yes.
dude that's locked up is bringing up Drake's name now.
That's
So
probably
I heard
Vanguard
that.
right there.
I think he better worry about that.
something.
That's probably
That
Vanguard.
happened in Florida, and my people on the streets, they brought up Drake's name. I will
Yeah,
tell
I
you.
heard that
Gray,
like way
did you
back
hear
like in
that?
2016
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
That Gray
He got
was
more
attached to me.
problems.
He's the new Diddy.
because he was afraid of getting replaced.
Well,
Well, him and Diddy about to go to court together.
yeah, he got more problems in that lawsuit.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
You can't do that. He should have just took the loss.
Yeah.
These people, they can bring
Do
up
you think-
something on you and it's gonna stick.
Do you think Diddy will make it to court or he'll end up like Epstein?
Nah, he gonna make it to court.
You think so?
Yeah,
I agree
they-
with Jay.
They about to
I
take
think-
him
I
out
don't
back.
know.
They
I
about to
don't
take
know.
Diddy out back and
They
make an
already setting
example
it
out
up
of
and
him.
saying he's depressed. He's on suicide watch.
Yeah.
Nah, they gonna take Diddy out back and make an example out of him. That's what's about to happen. Epstein,
got
they
pride.
like,
I heard
we
he
got to
love
get him
in
up
here,
out of here.
Go
Because
ahead, Nora.
if
Go
he got
ahead.
nothing to lose, he's gonna give up
But-
names.
But Diddy about to get that whip, and he about to get that whip in town square. That's what's about to happen with him.
I'm about to play this clip of Charleston White, what he thinks about Drake, because we're going to segue into the next part of our show. And let's hear what Charleston has to say, because it ties into what we're going to go into.
That man yelling.
I forgot.
You go weak ass yelling and crying, but he always had the Jews behind him. How he claiming it's unfair? He always had the Jews behind him. Homie, nigga, just enjoy the money, man. Let the little short Kendrick have his little. Come on, my nigga, all that money you got.
I do wonder what is that about? Like you just pride and ego, don't take the loss.
Man, that's the
Nigga,
yellow
take the
nigga.
money.
Man, that's the yellow nigga that really can't play with his cousins. That's the yellow with the white mama trying to come hang out in the Memphis project with his cousin and gotta stay on the port. Cause they know you can't go out there and play with them kids. Niggas say, kick back over here, Drake. Yeah. Aubrey, whatever that nigga name is. That nigga name say he weak. Aubrey can't play with no Kendrick. Kendrick said, Kendrick been getting hit up. You heard that nigga story? That nigga grew up rough. Yeah, get your ass back on the porch, Aubrey. What's wrong with you? Them kids will eat you alive.
It's crazy because I'm picturing a child Drake with curly hair.
Man, handsome yelling Aubrey. And his name Aubrey?
Yeah, Aubrey. Yeah,
Come
Aubrey
on, man.
first.
Nigga can't play with Leroy, Tyrone, Kendrick, Curtis, Jimmy, James. He can't. Please, you can't even run the ball with them.
He said in the Memphis
You see how,
projects.
man, that's where daddy from. And your dad done run off and left you. So knowing daddy, 9 times out of 10, daddy out slanging dick, being a player. So you at grandmama house. Grandmama knows little Aubrey can't play with these Memphis babies.
Fresh from Canada. Yeah. That's man. You make it. You paint a picture.
Man, I ain't let my biracial kid with that good hair play with them police. Cuz I kept them close. Hey, get over me, ho. I put my self-defense classes. Nigga, that type of shit before I just let him loose with them police cousins.
Yeah.
It's jokes. Ha ha ha. Hope I didn't offend anyone. But the reason why it's important to say is we're going to go into the topic of who is Black in America, because Aubrey is half Black, half Canadian, half Jewish. He brings up the fact that because he's part Jewish, that he thinks he's not going to sue, or he's suing for that reason. Gray, do you think this has any relevance?
I get what Charleston White is saying. He's saying the light skin complex in the Black community. I mean, I got cousins that's biracial. I got cousins that's Puerto Rican. So, like, I don't think it really matters in that instance. But if he's trying to say that, you know, your typical, stereotypical Black person is a little rougher around the edges, I can understand that. But I don't think that makes Drake less Black. I mean, his father's Black. His mother's Jewish. I mean, you could talk about somebody's upbringing, but as far as DNA, you know, he's Black.
So my question is to follow up. I'm going to ask you guys, because I think all of you guys are foundationally Black guys. Am I correct? No one's from parents from the islands or African or anything. Is Aubrey considered foundationally Black at this point? Because although he's Canadian, his father was foundationally Black American. Should he be an American citizen? Like, what's your thoughts on that? Because it all ties into immigration and all of that. Bulger, I'll let you go next.
So yeah, I'm definitely Black and a few other things, but all American. I'm gonna say with Drake, my issue is I think it's more so acceptance, right? Like, I don't think Drake didn't really accept Black culture from the start. He did. He had to go see his dad in Memphis. That was his introduction. I don't know how many summers he spent in Memphis, or if it was a summer, or if it was a week, or week or two. I don't know that, but that's where my issue. I don't think he really accepted like the Black culture until it paid him.
But when did he accept it? Was it before or after Degrassi? After,
because there's footage of him like kind of talking dirty on hood type stuff, and yeah, I'll have to pull them up later. I wish I would have put it up now, but yeah, there's video of him saying, "I don't like that. I don't like this." As far as the Black culture and hood things, but then when it became profitable to go to Atlanta, that's what Kendrick was talking about in that song. You went to Atlanta, basically, what did he say, to colonize?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what he was talking about. He didn't accept the Black culture in the beginning. It was only after it was profitable that he jumped on the bandwagon.
So he pulled a Kamala.
Yeah, exactly.
Jay, any thoughts on this?
Now Kamala kind of been with the hood game.
No, but just a comment. I've been listening to Drake as long as everybody else, and I never thought anything about him using the N-word until Kendrick said something about it, that he shouldn't use it. And now every time I hear a song he uses it, I cringe a little bit, because it does now seem out of place that Drake does it.
What makes it out of place? Because his mother's Jewish and he's half white, or what makes it out of place?
It just never, like, I never, and like until recently, like, I feel like, well, and then again too, you have to think, I'm sure Black culture is different in Canada than it is here. So what's considered, is he appropriating culture when he comes to America versus is he actually really, about that in Canada? I'm sure that's subjective, but it does seem that Drake does, he does seem, at least as far as his music, he does seem like he's playing a character. He does not seem like he's never seemed like all that genuine.
Yeah.
And that's fine. A lot of artists, tons of artists do that, if not most of them. But it does seem disingenuous. I feel like that's what Kendrick's calling him out on. Is his disingenuousness of who.
Right.
I actually was rooting for Drake because I know he came into the game soft.
You thought he can battle a rapper from Compton, really?
Well, not so much that. So you know the situation with him and Diddy over the song 0 to 100. Apparently they had a confrontation where Diddy like punched him, slapped him, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And after
At
that,
the Miami
Drake,
Club.
you seen Drake kind of get buff. I don't know if he started taking
Ozempic
steroids or whatever, but
When everyone thought he got implants in Colombia or whatever.
yeah, but
he
he started getting in shape. He was boxing. I'm like, okay, I see that. You get knocked down, you go train. I was like, okay, he becoming a warrior. So I already knew Drake was soft, and there was a time, I'm not going to go into that on air, but there was a time where I seen Drake in person. I actually have a family member.
No, you have to go into that on here.
Yeah,
Well,
you don't have to leave that part out.
I just actually have a family member who has Grammys, a producer because of him. I won't
Come
go
on.
into yeah.
Okay.
But it was a
I
party.
respect
But
that.
anyway,
I respect that.
and the dude, he was just kind of a little soft. But I was rooting for him. Like, okay, some people they'll take the punch and still be soft. But I'm thinking, okay, he's gonna defend himself, become tough, and now he can rap about this stuff. But to do what he just did, suing, I can't get with. I don't care what the reason was. Just take your loss. If you're not gonna come back on wax, leave it alone.
Well, he has to sue because otherwise he's just admitting to basically like, yeah, I'm a pedophile. He has to do something. Like, he has to just try. He has to lob it up there.
But you can't sue. Like now you're setting a new precedent in the rap game. So now all these new rappers gonna come in when their feelings hurt. They want to go sue. Oh, Drake did it. I can do it.
Drake, as a
that should have
former
never been a thing. But go ahead.
I think it was Slim turn.
rapper person in the industry. Oh, sorry, Slim had walked away.
Yeah.
Slim, what's your thoughts on all of this? Is Drake considered foundationally black? Do you think Jay brought up good points tonight. Is it a gimmick? Is it really him? What's your thoughts?
Again, man, when it comes to this black and white thing, I never really stress it that way. And I always say we need to just stop talking about it. Let's keep it real. The only problem I have with Drake is that he doesn't write his music. It's my only problem with the brother. Other than that, he has rhythm. He's talented. I don't have a problem with him saying the N-word. It never really mattered. That's why I say Kendrick was very strategic when it comes to this battle, because he released all those allegations at this time where we are in our country, where black and white is a trigger to our emotions. So I don't have a problem with him using the N-word. I think he is black. He look black. He act black. He might be a soft black dude. That's a fact. He might be a yellow dude. That's fact. Everything Charleston said was funny, but it didn't really matter until Kendrick brought it up at a time like this. Out of all the years we listened to Drake saying the N-word, it didn't matter. You see what I'm saying? So he's the top rapper, like literally.
But
Ray,
Kendrick was.
Before we move on?
Go ahead.
I would have to just say, Drake has to look out for Jay Prince and Birdman. I mean, he signed to both of those guys, and like y'all said, he has family that probably has money. So it's basically like, you gotta take the streets away from the rap, because we like, oh well, not a rapper's gonna do this. But then we see a rapper be a businessman and we call him soft and this and that. But it's like, is it the Jay-Z line? I'm not a business, I'm a businessman, whatever he said. Or is it you just have to be street all the time?
Booger, what you was gonna add? I'm sorry before I play the next clip.
Oh man, it slipped my mind. But no, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, well, Drake started that with when he came saying that Kendrick sound like what did he say? He sounded like he was trying to free the slaves.
Free the slaves, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, Drake kind of bought that on himself. So I don't even fault Kendrick for saying that. Like it's a war. You made a shot, he sent the bigger missile, and Kendrick's missile. It seemed like his missile stuck and everything.
I think Drake's comebacks was
not
funny,
like us
man.
as a certified banger. That's all.
But Drake don't bother. He don't bother me saying that. It's can we say that on here?
What, or the N-word?
Yeah.
Well, it's not. We're going to be handing
Yeah,
out
let's
N-words
not.
for the night. When I play with my let's stay away from there for a little bit. But
All right.
we're going to go into this next topic because Myron Gaines has stepped in some landmines again.
Oh, yeah,
Thank you to all the Myron Gaines fans, the Fresh and Fit fans. You really helped us out by watching our videos. We appreciate all the love and comments as you support our channel. But Myron Gaines is in a beef with all of Black America at this point. And the beef goes to him and Tariq Nasheed on who is Black. We're going to talk about that because Drake segues us into there. Let me play this clip on who is Black and we can talk about who is Black in this country and then talk about Myron Gaines.
There's no volume.
Right.
And how what appears to be the end of a linguistic journey is often just the beginning. Before we get into the nuances of the different words people of African descent have used to describe themselves, we should probably start with, well, Africa itself. Not just the continent, but the word. Africa is a massive, massive chunk of Earth, and is home to many different cultures that don't necessarily see themselves as belonging to the same group. Indeed, it's the most diverse continent in the world. It is, after all, where our human history begins. The history of the word Africa is contentious, and scholars have been left with just theories. We know the ancient Romans coined the term, but we don't know where they got it from. Still, historians agree that the first known reference to Africa was around 2,000 years ago when the Romans used it to refer to Carthage, a rival empire located in present-day Tunisia and northern Algeria. Of course, the Romans weren't the first and only people to give this region a name. The ancient Greeks called the continent Libya. But what did the ancient Africans call themselves? Well, the many, many tribes and cultures there had a number of names and concepts to describe themselves. But ultimately, the Roman term Africa went out among Europeans, even though in the minds of ancient Romans, the name only applied to a small portion of the northern coast of the continent. That's possibly because as Europeans moved further south into the continent, they just brought the name with them. Thus, the word Africa came into popular usage. So that's where we get Africa, but now comes another piece of the puzzle. Where did we get the word Black, and how did it come to be thought of as interchangeable with African? It's important to get into because while the term Black is gaining in popularity today, the term African American actually rose to prominence because it was considered more appropriate than Black or colored. In other words, African American exists because it was once seen as a sort of remedy to the perceived inappropriateness of Black, a word that has historically been used for people of sub-Saharan African descent, particularly those who were enslaved. It was at a news conference in 1988 in the Chicago Hyatt Regency O'Hare Hotel that civil rights activist Reverend Jesse L. Jackson announced that Black people preferred to be called African American. Jackson said, "To be called African American has cultural integrity. It puts us in our proper historical context. Every ethnic group in this country has a reference to some land base, some historical culture base. African Americans have hit that level of cultural maturity." And why transition to African American from Black? Well, as Black Studies scholar E. Patrick Johnson notes, the word has a difficult history that goes back at least to the 14th century Europe, where Black took on a moral dimension. It was used to describe evil and corruption, something that was tainted or soiled. It came in handy when it came time to justify the enslavement of an entire group of people, and was used to associate dark-skinned people with immorality. It was used, in essence, to make it seem like they didn't have the same kind of souls. But during enslavement, Black was not the most prominent word used to describe people stolen from their homes in Africa. Colored people and Negro were much more common, and it wasn't until after emancipation in 1863 that Black came into more popular use. Though, as E. Patrick Johnson mentions, this wasn't necessarily positive. Instead, the increased prominence of the word Black was due to Black codes, which limited rights post-emancipation. The word being used to justify white supremacy meant that using it in any other context would be an act of reclamation, and like many words affecting marginalized groups that get reclaimed.
Gray, I know your family goes.
Go ahead.
Gray, sorry, I know your family goes back to Georgia and being sharecroppers. What term, as an African American and I foundationally Black American, do you think is appropriate to be used for Black people in this country? And who is Black in your mind after we watch that?
First, I will respond to that boring video. That video was boring. Pull up Trick Daddy says he's not African. Pull that up while I respond. It's a more
Oh
entertaining.
God.
But I would say, I mean, I remember being in school, like probably seeing a video like that, and people saying African American. But I think like with just regular people coming up to just people or work or school or something, you just said black. I feel like African American was just like, you know, a school term or, you know, something you said like professionally.
My video was not boring. Okay. We had to set the stage here and educate tonight because we about to have a lesson for everybody watching. Okay. But I'll play your video about
Thank you.
Trick Daddy. I have it pulled up because I'm good at finding things. And let me play it for all those that couldn't keep up in the other video, including Gray.
Trying to figure out how Afro get in front of my motherfucking race. I ain't never been to Afro color. I never been to Africa. Afro or Africa. Never been there. I'm not from Africa. I'm born and raised in Goose, Florida. I'm born in Goose, raised in Liberty City in the Poker Bean Project. Ain't never went to Africa. Ain't thinking about going there. And I heard it's a beautiful place. Yeah. And I know it's the motherland. Yes. But not my mother, not her mother, and not her mother's mother. That ain't their land. America, real true land is right here in the U.S. soils.
So 85 or vulgar or 85 here, you're back. I'll let you go next because I know you're probably going to have a lot to say. And I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Gray. What should Black people in this country identify it as, and who is Black in America?
Again, I mean, I say African American. I mean, that's the proper way to say it. I don't think you have to be from Africa to say you're African American. I think everybody's from Africa of some sort, to be honest with you. I don't really care about the color, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, again, those are just those trigger words that I'm always mentioning. And we always go back to the race. How do we get rid of racism? We got to stop talking about it. It's hard for me to get into that because I never see color. I don't even know how to, I've never even been affected because of my color. You know what I mean? If I have, it didn't affect me in life. You know what I mean? It affected me at that moment. It didn't do anything mentally to bring me down or make me think that I was less than. So it don't really matter. I'm an American citizen and I love being an American. Am I from the streets of New York? Absolutely. Do I got a little slang? Absolutely. But there's no way I'm going to be triggered by another white person calling me the N-word. That doesn't matter to me. You know what I mean? Because if he says, or if somebody calls my phone and says, hey, you know you've been called the N-word 32 times, so now we're going to take this much amount out of your bank account this month. If that was the case, absolutely. Nobody can call me the N-word. Okay, but until then, it doesn't bother me. Yeah, I'm a N-word with his own business that has the ability to employ other people. That's a phenomenal N-word if you ask me. And I'm cool with that. You know, so African American, N-word, Black man, I'm that dude. I'm cool. I'm cool with it all.
What about you, Vulgar? Then we'll go to Jay.
Say, repeat the question, just so I have a.
So the question is this. Now, race is a social construct. I will agree with that. But the question is this. Who is considered Black in this country? Part one. Part two is what you as a technical Black man in this country, what do you like to be called? Vulgar said, 85 said African American. Gray, what did you say?
I said Black is just what you say with people, and African American is professional.
I'm gonna say with me, so I'll tell you my real name is Charles, right? So I get called Carlos, Chucky, Chuck, whatever else.
You said you were
I
Cuban,
get called that, right? So I don't particularly care if it's Black, African. I know a lot of people. I was actually, I thought my name was the N-word until I was 5 years old. Wow. Growing up in my house,
your family said
I was called little this, get your little this over here, little N over here. So
Was this your
me,
family?
yeah, oh yeah, hood, yeah. KC has a hood, so yeah.
Hey,
But
that's normal, Nora. Just to be honest with you, I hate to say that, but that's normal.
We never said that word in my house. If you said that word in my house, you were in trouble. And I grew up in a
oh,
Jamaican household.
it is prescribed in our household. But so I don't really have a issue. So I separate. I kind of feel like 85 feels. It doesn't bother me. It's not that big of a deal because, like you said, it doesn't determine where we at. It do in a sense because people do look at you a certain type of way. I do realize that being black, African American, my skin is dark. I'm going to have a harder time. I like I have my favorite black hoodie. I'll walk in some places, they look at me weird until they hear me talk or they see my mannerisms. They're looking at me. It's just going to happen. It is the way the world is designed. Some of it is the media and the movies they put out. A lot of it we put on ourselves. We try to claim racism, but a lot of this racism we've actually put on ourselves by glorifying New Jack City, all these other movies, the West Coast gang banging. So for me, I realize that's there. I don't let it determine. I'm not worried about how somebody feel. I know I got a harder road. Everybody, what they say, you get lemons, make lemonade, or deal with the cards you're dealt. That's how I look at it. I just deal with the cards I'm dealt. It doesn't mean that much to me. I'm going to fight and be successful regardless. So I don't really have an issue with any other words. I think people put too much influence on those words or what people should be called. But I do think there is. So you have African Americans, which are people who are descendants of Africa, and then you have black. Like I always say, black is a culture. I think the reason why it's a big issue is because we mix the two. We mix what people are versus what the culture is.
And Jay, so before you respond, like I know with Hispanics, it's kind of like the same thing. Like saying, like some people feel like Dominicans supposed to say that they're black or whatever. So you could talk about also like the separation with different countries or cultures with Hispanic people as well as the African American stuff.
Well, I always thought of Dominican as like the nationality and like black as the ethnicity. So you can be a black Dominican. But what I will say though, we're all victims of white imperialism because that's what it all is. The confusion is because white people named everything. Why people in the Philippines hate the name being called the Philippines because it's named after Prince Philip of Spain. They've never called themselves that. There's never been a culture called the Aztecs. White people misnamed it. They were called the Mexica, and they thought they called them the Aztecs because their like afterlife was called Aztlan. But there's never been a culture called the Aztecs. So just you can pretty much blame like so much confusion on just white imperialism, and I just think every culture suffers from it still to this day.
I gotta disagree with that.
It's true. It's absolutely, you can't argue it because it's true.
The whites who came here won. They won. They took over, so they get that. They get that right. They get that spoil.
I
don't want to. I think when you say that, it sounds like a big. It sounds like we're supposed to be victims to that. That's why I don't like that. Like,
not victims of it, but we also suffer from it. Like, the one of the biggest reasons for conflicts in Africa and even in the Middle East is because white people came and drew cultural lines where none existed before, or they grouped a bunch of people together that never were grouped together because it was convenient for them. So many.
Africa, the culture, they allowed that when they start sending their prisoners, and then when they were prisoners, they wanted to go to war with each other, and the ones who lost got sent over as slaves.
They totally allowed it
for iron. Africa allowed that.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the only reason why you have so much conflict in so many parts of the world is because basically the British most likely took a pen and circled a bunch of people together and said, you all live together now, you're all the same culture, and they never were.
But they won. We should have won. Like, we can't. The British didn't be victims. We're not victims. We got to fight. All this is fight. We fought. They won. When you win, you get to celebrate. You have your parade when you win.
You can just name people whatever you want.
Yeah, if you win.
Yeah. If you win.
If you win, the white people won. They came over to America. The Indians couldn't defeat them, so they made 50 states.
What I would say, because I want to respond because Slim was like, you gotta we should like never talk about it. But I think people never talk about like the positives of certain things. Like let's look at like what's happening to Mexicans right now. But most people I know, Mexican food is their favorite food. Like is with white people. Like
that's the positive.
Well, I'm saying like the culture of someone's culture.
They could have got Mexican food. It could have been here anyway. Mexican food was already here.
But what I'm saying is like we always down white people. But
like I said, the border we didn't cross the border. The border crossed us.
I understand what you're saying, and I was gonna say that to you too. That you should come at 12 p.m. It's a lady.
You should have came, Jay.
Yeah. It's a lady.
This indigenous lady educated us today, and she told us. Oh, Bulger, get this. She told us that the Mexicans that are here belong to here, and we shouldn't deport them because technically this is their land.
No,
I think that people of
that's not how that works.
Have a right to all of North America.
Because guess what? Those Mexicans,
about you. They're activists. We said, well, we have someone of Mexican descent on the cast. We told her about you, but they're like fully committed to this. I'll send you her page. But
so here's the thing. Okay, so America's still expanding, right? Maybe y'all witnessed this. A few places that I live, Atlanta is one of them. Atlanta keeps expanding out, right? So when you start to cut down trees, grass, and you build new subdivisions, there are like rattlesnakes, snakes, and all that kind of stuff there, right? So because we cut all that down, the snakes, should we let the snakes live in our homes, in the toilet, in the plumbing?
Are you comparing humans to snakes?
Or should those snakes have fault to keep us out?
I'm just clarifying for everyone.
I'm just saying, if you take over a territory,
just say yes, right?
You can't keep saying.
Let's bring it back to the topic at hand.
All right.
Let's bring it back because there's a lot we gotta.
Oh yeah. Go to the next video. We get up.
All right, go ahead. Share my take on this, please, because this is personal to me. So I ask all that because as a little girl growing up, I grew up in a Jamaican black household. You would never know from my light skin that I grew up in a black household. So I personally experienced racism on both ends, and I know that's probably hard for some people to understand. But I will never forget it. At 6 years old, a little black girl at my school told me, "You little C word." I don't want to say it. And she called me that. And I was like, I don't get it. Like, I'm not a C word, because I knew what it meant. And nobody in my family was white. And I'll never forget seeing the KKK riding down the street and experiencing it, and my black grandfather, and then what they said to him, they called him the N-word. So I say all that to say I've experienced it on both ends. 85, I'm glad you've never experienced it. Bulger, I'm sorry if you have. Gray, I know you have personally from past experiences over the years.
When we get done, I got a story.
You mean C-U-N-T, C-word or cracker?
What'd you say?
What C-word do you mean? C-U-N-T or cracker?
That one, the second.
That was not bad. That's not a slur.
Yes, it is a slur.
You know how I know it's not a slur? Because I can say it right now and everything's fine. When we can say one word on TV and another word on
TikTok.
You know, when we can say one word
it is a slur, and I don't want to be offensive to our white fans because it is a slur. It is a racial slur. In my mind, it is, and it is offensive.
There's like a minor league team that calls themselves the Crackers, isn't there?
Yes, but I think that they are offended by that word.
They
are. I know you have a lot of white friends.
I got a lot of white friends, man. But it's funny that we're talking about this because I was talking to somebody else about the Cracker Barrel, and the history behind the Cracker Barrel is crazy. And during the whole Black Lives Matter, they just missed that whole restaurant. But I don't.
We love the Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, I love it's so
we love
good,
the Cracker Barrel, man.
No cap. If you look up the history behind the Cracker Barrel, you might get offended. Just saying.
Absolutely. And again, the reason why. So now let me fast forward to today. So the latest offensive thing for me as a child of immigrants is this whole foundationally black argument. As a child growing up in a poor black household, I was told multiple times in my life, like I told you, the experience, my grandfather was called the N-word. He was called the N-word. They didn't care he was Jamaican. They didn't care that he was an immigrant. They just saw him as the N-word. So to now fast forward today, and I hear people say, you're not black because you're from Jamaica, or you're not black because you're from Africa. It offends me greatly, deeply. And I don't care, chat, you can come for me. Everybody rewatching this, you can come for me. But that's how I feel. So I'm going back to now fast forward to today. Who is black in this country? Because Myron Gaines, I don't like him. I think he's a disgusting individual. But I
they
will
all
say
trash.
that they are coming for him and they're saying he's not black. And at the same time, he's also being offensive to black culture. So I understand. 85, what's your thoughts? Do you consider him a black man, or what do you think about Myron? Because I know you're a fan of him.
I don't know if he's black, white. I don't know his background.
Sudanese.
If I
His
had to take
family's
a
from Sudan.
if I had to take a
Sudanese.
guess, I would say no. He's just from a different country, but that doesn't make him black. You know what I mean?
So who
It's an
is
African.
black to you then?
Black is
85.
black is
Who
a
is black?
culture.
Black. I mean, that's another thing. If we're black as a color, number one, and again, are we considering his race, his culture, or his background? What are we considering? So this
Well,
is
that's why we're talking about tonight. Black is a
Well,
social construct. Race is a social
Myron
construct.
Myron is distancing himself from the culture. That's his own fault. I know, Nora, like you're on, you're good and you could be black. Myron is this. He dogs
Sound like
out the
Kelly.
black culture. He's putting this on. He is like he's opted out. You haven't, but he has. He's opted out, and now he's with the opposition, and he's trying to roast us. That's the issue.
Yeah, and I also got to
We're gonna
see
talk about
what
that.
clip you're talking about too, Nora.
Oh, we got plenty, so let's go. Buckle
Oh
up,
yeah,
85.
go ahead. Yeah,
And if you
go ahead.
still listen to Fresh and Fit after this, 85, I'm roasting you.
Yeah,
I'm
he
gonna be
going.
real
He
with
going
you.
in.
I haven't
man.
listened to it in a while.
Oh, he going in.
Okay,
Wait till you
well,
see it.
let's start with the things he says about black women. Let me play that, and then I'm gonna play the fight that just happened this week.
Okay.
Quite frankly, you guys are stupid. You guys put watermelon, you put salt on your watermelon, ridiculous. You guys eat fried chicken, ridiculous. You guys are fat as fuck, ridiculous. You guys wear weave, ridiculous. Then you have the nerve to sit there and talk shit about Latinas and white girls that actually do wear their hair and actually do go to the gym and exercise and say, oh, you bitches is ugly. No, you're fucking ugly. Okay? Now here's the thing. There are some attractive black women out there, but that's a fucking anomaly. Let's keep it real. Okay? You guys are the lowest on the dating apps for a fucking reason. This is all statistical fact alongside what Tommy said. Black women are the least desired fucking race in America. I wonder why. Because the stereotypes of being loud, obnoxious, rude, stupid, etc. You guys can't even properly speak the English language. You guys butcher it every fucking chance you get. You guys are fucking retards. At least black dudes can be athletes, entertainers, musicians, and they can go ahead and use that status to get a white bitch. Y'all can't use your status to get a white nigga. Very hard for you guys to do. Even when you do have status, you guys still can't fucking pull nothing. Look at Lizzo, single for life. Fat as fuck, over here indoctrinating you idiots. Oh yeah, I would go ahead and keep eating fucking fried chicken. Big is beautiful, right? We're the only people that are fucking psyoped. Black people, by far. You guys want to sit there and talk about, oh, white supremacy, white supremacy. You want to know who owns you motherfuckers for real? It's the Jews. You niggas are retarded, and you don't know who the fuck runs over you for real. You guys want to sit there and say, oh, white supremacy, white supremacy. Who owns the record labels? Who owns the fucking the bullshit pharmaceutical companies that keep telling your dumb ass that you need insulin because you're too fucking fat?
So, 85, as I know you're a fan of this loser, what's your thoughts?
Oh man, you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm having an issue with my camera.
Okay, well, we can move on while you
Honestly,
fix it then.
no, I'm good. I'm good. I think the boy is trolling. I don't think. I think he's. I think he's strategically doing what he's doing to get you exactly where you are currently. That's what I think. I think he's trolling, and he's getting people to talk about him. Kevin Samuels in a whole different vibe. Just saying, that's what I believe. I'm not saying what he said I agree with. I just believe that he's trolling. I believe he's doing this for views.
Say you disagree.
Let's see. Wait. Why this is even worse if he is. Have you heard of Buffalo, New York? Have you heard of where's that place in North Carolina where the guy came and shot up? Have you heard of Jacksonville, Florida, where Black people are targets by white tea supremacists? That's the problem I have. He's basically saying, I don't care about you Black women. Whatever any white tea supremacist wants to come and do, she's a target. It's open season. We don't care. That's the problem. It's not worth the risk to Black women or Black people.
I agree with that. Here's the thing, right? We can talk about it, discuss it, or we can start a movement to get rid of it. Whichever way we choose to go, that has to be the way we choose to go with our hearts, right? So we can't blame the internet for allowing people to say whatever, because the people are going to watch more negativity than positivity. Sorry, it's just what it is.
Nah, but
I believe he knows
accountable.
this. Absolutely, he should. He should. But here's the thing, right? We can't. Like everybody here is on a different level mentally. I don't think anybody agrees with what this guy is saying on the panel. Like, there's no way anyone, like Voga, Gray, Jay, I don't think none of us agree with what he's saying. What's wrong is, you're right, he's putting out information that could stir the minds of someone out there like that. But at the end of the day, if we don't take it to the next level, get them struck or do what we got to do to reduce that type of content. And I believe those guys got canceled before, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, they not monetized. They lost their monetization a couple of years ago.
Rumble. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like a couple of years ago, and they still doing what they doing.
So we could have fun. We could use their content against them as well. I mean, at the end of the day, we there's always a lesson to be learned in anything we do. You know what I mean? So whether it's negative or positive, if we can actually adjust what we need to do to situate it or show people that we're not on that level, that's all we really need to worry about. Those guys are going to be they're going to be anuses no matter what, you know. But I don't think you should get emotional over these clowns, because all it does is give you content. All it does is give us something to talk about, you know. And I just think he's trolling. He's trolling. He won't say that in front of a woman's face. He ain't say that. I want to see the fight too. You said there's a fight. I want to see the girl he fighting.
Do you guys want to respond, or should I play the fight?
Let Morgan respond.
Okay, go ahead.
It's good. So my thing is, I'm big in the manosphere, right? So that's where it kind of got started. I don't know if y'all are on the manosphere. With, like, I know most people know Kevin Samuels. There's a few other alpha male strategies. I don't know if y'all know about all of them. There's a lot of people that go into it. Have y'all heard of Book of Alpharonomy?
No.
Okay, so the manosphere is it's supposed to be a place for men to go, men who didn't have like fathers in their lives, right? Or fathers that talked to them, which would have been like me. It's supposed to be a place that helped men grow. It did a lot for me. I went through 2 crazy marriages, didn't understand women because I wasn't taught that. And a lot of these guys in this on this space taught me a lot of good. Myron came in and kind of exploited it. So it's people like Myron who gives a bad name, and then it's kind of like CNN do a Republic, right? They'll go in and find people like Myron and say this place is it's misogynistic or things, because they only focus on Myron. That's why I have a problem with it, because people like him give us a bad. There's actually an FBI list for the manosphere, and they call certain manosphere a threat. I don't know if y'all knew that or not. I don't know if Myron's on it, but there's a few other streamers that are on this list, and they're really good. They give really good information. But it's like I said, the reason why I got an issue with Myron is because people like him give us a bad name, the space a bad name, when there's some really good content creators out there that give really good information. And like you said, you got somebody like him trolling. I think he should be held accountable for that, which he already has, because he's not monetized.
Jay, how do you feel about the manosphere and seeing things that Myron said.
Well, honestly, all he does is nothing validates like white supremacists or white racists more than a black person agreeing with them.
Correct.
And he just validated tons of white supremacist white racists, and that's what he did. And whether he was trolling or not, there's no taking that back. There's like so many racists that now feel validated. See, I've been telling you all the time about them. See, and he even agrees with me. He's black, so obviously, he's right. And the thing about was all these like alpha male podcasts too is you're taking all these like kids that like let's say they can't get a date and they can't know how to talk to women, and you're basically radicalizing them because you're basically saying you can't get a date because it's not your fault, you're fine, it's because they're feminists or it's because they believe this, and it just erases accountability from young men.
I agree with you.
And it's ridiculous and it's almost scary. And if you look at like throughout history, I hate to use this term, but like incels, young men, involuntary celibates, have actually there's theories now that the Vikings were incels. Basically, they took the group of young men that were energized and just couldn't get women, and they were just causing trouble, and said, "Hey, you guys, why don't you guys just go on raids? Like, get out of here. Just anything to get rid of them." And you can kind of sense now that they're being radicalized now. Like, I'm not saying intentionally, but like you have like I think 8 out of the top 20 podcasts are alpha male podcasts. Like that can't be good long term. To teach young men that the reason they can't get a date is because of
they're
women.
Hypocrites, Jay.
No, it can be, but y'all still on the ones like Myron. Most of them give out good information. I can give you a lot to go look at now, and they give out good information. They're not doing the stuff that Myron bringing prostitutes and strippers onto their show because they're weak and talk down to them. I stopped watching years ago, like in 2020, because of that. There was nothing there to be gained off of it. It was like watching the black Jerry Springer.
What I would say is like all of us are content creators here, right? And any of us could do the easy route and attack our culture and say whatever it is, and we would go viral overnight. That's the easy way to do it. If you're trying to actually put out good information or trying to actually help people, it's going to be a lot harder for you to be successful, but at least you're doing the right thing rather than taking the shortcut route and say, oh, I'm going to do something so crazy, people are going to all watch this and I'm going to go viral.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I don't have 1,000 followers
The good thing I will say is they took down the video, but that's okay because we have it. I'm going to play you guys the 2 fights. The first is the one with the black women. 85 wasn't here for that, or Jay wasn't as well. So let's watch that one. It's a totally different way when a black woman fights versus Hispanic women on his show. It's amazing to me how it ended. Let's watch it. He's from Sudan. He talks about black women like they put down women, and especially.
I don't know.
They
meant though.
Where is it? Oh, here we go. It got fast forward. My bad, y'all. It played accidentally. Here we go.
I have screenshots of me saying you guys should stop this fuck, man. You know what?
But his
Thank
you. Your mom does too. And everything you're saying about talking is right back to you.
Stand your fucking ground. You ain't getting reimbursed. Shit, get the fuck up out of here, bitch.
That's your
you
whole
fucking
point.
brokey.
Fuck you,
yeah,
nigga.
fuck you, bitch.
That's fine. I'm not
you
a brokey.
Fucking fat.
You're
You look like shit. Your hair's a wig. Your stomach
My
is
hair's
jiggling.
a wig?
You look like fucking shit. You're literally your underwear is showing and your stomach is hanging.
Look at this
Disgusting.
Man, Look at this
Disgusting.
Man. When y'all come to
Disgusting.
this podcast, just know that these people right here are going to make y'all feel like y'all like shit. They're going to try to demean y'all to take your energy.
You're wearing a wig.
Take their mother. I'm wearing
a wig,
braids.
bitch.
He's
You're
dumb as
wearing a
fuck.
wig.
I have braids in my hair, and this ignorant nigga who looks black and wants to be a nigga till it's time to be one doesn't even know what braids are. Yeah. He doesn't even know who he's talking to. He's gonna put you motherfuckers on motherfucking internet. You bitches won't have no motherfucking job after me, nigga.
You ain't gonna sue shit. Shut the fuck up, you dumb bitch. This is Florida.
Okay.
Do you know the laws in Florida?
This is. Do you know the laws?
Texas, bitch. You
It's
stupid
not.
fucking
But my
retard.
mother
You
is
don't
a
know the
fucking
law.
government
This is a
worker.
stand your ground state. Okay,
Yeah,
you
no
stupid
problem.
bitch. You're so
This is
dumb.
what they do to black
67
women.
IQ.
This is what they do to black
Get the fuck up out of here.
This is the same nigga that came at
No,
Asian dog.
this is
I love
your
you,
race.
dog.
I love you, bro.
The same nigga that came at Asian dog. Nigga, I'm finna get them hitters from Dallas to
Do
come
it.
for your bitch.
Do it.
Don't
Do
worry.
it. Do it.
This the
Please.
same nigga that came
Do
for
it.
Asian.
Do it. Do it.
Get
the fuck up out of here, bitch.
Niggas are so lame. Your mama, you
You're
bitch.
fat. You're
Your
fat.
mama,
You're
nigga.
fat. You're fat. Hey. Bro, what the fuck?
What are you talking about?
Bro, holy shit, man. Yo, you gotta chill,
man. Nor you really get that this man. You gonna show the same video we watched, and Slim even said he didn't see it, and he was literally on camera.
Right. I don't know why he said he didn't see it, but that's it because he don't know.
I thought it was a new one. I thought it was a whole new video. I seen that one.
See both. Jay needed to see both. We're gonna play the newer one, and wait before y'all comment. It's night and day. That's night and day what I'm about to show you. All right, we about to play the newer one.
She's trying to show the differences between.
Wow, amazing. He didn't not one stand up. Didn't call them any racist names. Didn't call nobody no bitch. He sat his punk ass there in that chair, like he should, and stay out of women's business. It's amazing how that fight went so different. And he painted this girl as so violent. When they jumped, they literally jumped her. I'm sorry, they jumped that girl. But nobody got up. And again, I'm going to go back to Kelly's comment. He won't get canceled because black men watch him.
I have to say, AJ, you'll mute your mic if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to agree with Slim on this part. I don't feel like this is anything about race. Like, he wouldn't pick specific type of girls, strippers, girls off of Seeking Arrangements. He wouldn't got
this
the
worst type. This is why he does
type.
that. You brothers y'all don't protect black women. This is why he does that. If y'all don't see it, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
That has nothing to do with
Oh, I got something for Nora after this.
Type of caliber of woman, put them on a camera and got them all in the room, and then they act it out. What does that have to do with black men?
Hey Jay, mute your background, man. Your background. You sound like you're driving, Jay.
Yeah. Trucker life. Yeah, that trucker life.
Do y'all agree with Nora? Nora is on this whole kick.
You don't have to.
Black men supposed to be protected.
Nope. I got a bone to pick with Nora right now. We about to go at it.
That's fine. You could pick it.
Go ahead, Boger.
So here's the thing. You ever see? Do you know about bodyguards and security?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, so like I said, I've been in the industry. I got a lot of people around me who are in the industry. So when you have bodyguards, one of the things that a bodyguard will do, they will make their client promise to listen. So like if the client becomes combative or something like that, you would think, okay, I'm paying the bodyguard. They do what I say. That's not how it works. This is even the Secret Service with the president. The client has to listen. If not, okay, I got a better example. If somebody is drowning and the military does this, if I go in to save them and they're like flopping around and going crazy, I might have to knock them out to get them to settle down to keep drowning. Black women they're the person that's drowning, going crazy. I can't save you if you don't listen, right? A lot of black women aren't listening. So a lot of black women will come out and say, our men aren't protecting us. But y'all will get on and say, we're dusty, we're all these things.
Yeah. And this
because y'all not cooperating. So why do y'all expect us to protect y'all?
You are protecting black women on this call. I can already see it. Jay,
huh?
Please, what does this have to do with that video? Do you see my point?
No, when you went into that, it said that. That's what I'm getting at. Is like we can't protect you if you can't listen. And a lot of black women now think they know more than the black men.
Okay, let's hear what Jay has to say. Go ahead, Jay.
You're on mute.
It just seems, guys, I'm like you're putting women in a possible situation. So basically, if they stick up for themselves, then they're not listening, and then they don't need protection. And if they don't stick up for themselves, then they're kind of weak and they deserve it. It just seems like you're putting them in an impossible win-less situation.
We never said we don't say that.
It does seem sexist because like, what do you mean by like listen?
Who said black women are weak?
But the thing is this, Jay.
That's what feminism says. Black women are weak. We don't say that.
Why did he get so aggressive with one black girl? There were two Spanish girls, and I'm gonna make it a race thing. There were two Spanish girls going crazy. He didn't stand up. He didn't call them racial names.
Let Slim respond. Go, Slim.
Oh man, I mean, the thing was, I didn't know what the argument is about. To me, it just seems like he wasn't involved with that altercation. It seems like whatever happened prior to that
clip.
I
knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. So I have the pre-argument for you. And I recorded it because I have a feeling they're going to say, "Oh, it had nothing to do with him." Oh,
hey, I'm just
and that's real talk.
I'm just going by what I saw.
Before you play it, if I'm walking down the street, right, and I see somebody get attacked, am I like have to jump in or risk my life because they black? Is that what you're basically saying?
Right. What if that dude stole some stuff from an old lady and we don't even know about it?
Yeah, like you're basically saying that based on a person being black, they have to do something because the person's black.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that black women going on his show is target season because Spanish girls, white girls, they all fight, but he don't get up and act like that. It only gets really physical when black girls are on his show because he hates black women, and I don't know why black women continue on his show.
No, he gets views when it's black women.
He definitely went at them like they were almost like they were men.
No, but the thing is, he gets views when it's black women.
With the black girls.
Angry black woman.
He doesn't see them as women. He sees them as less than as subhuman. Because when they're white and Spanish,
it's not that.
He sits down. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Right, so Nora, hold up, Nora.
He gets views because of an angry black woman.
Yes,
hold up,
is.
Nora. What would you expect him to do in that situation? Based on what I saw, okay, that's all I saw was that part. What would you do in that situation?
She didn't come at him. She was walking out the door. He stood up. He followed her to the elevator. He threw something, I believe.
You're talking about the first fight. You're talking about the first fight.
Yeah. Because if you notice, the Spanish girl in her was like, she's like, "I'm good with you. I wasn't trying to fight you. Something happened. You don't see what he did in the video. He did something." Because he came and followed her to watch the fight.
It was in this, and you think you were in that, and he was like, "Be this," and you think you would be that. There was an altercation back and forth, and then he called her fat, and then something happened where she tried to hit him. Then the other girl got involved, and that's what happened. Now in this situation, he was chilling doing his interview, and then two girls just started wilding. That's all I saw.
Yeah, well, let's pray the free fight. Let's pray the free fight.
I didn't see anything that led to that.
I'm going to say this. It is the same thing while we play black men get by police versus the whites. It is more views. It is more money when it's black. I'm sorry to say it. You got the black man that's portrayed as a gangster. You got the black woman who's portrayed as the angry black woman. So you're going to get more views when you got the Hispanic and the other one. They're portrayed as. They're portrayed as more feminine. Latino women are just as bad, but they're portrayed as more feminine. You're not going to get as many views.
Are they portrayed?
It's sad. It sucks. I don't think it's a subhuman thing. I think it's a view thing.
What'd you say, Jay?
Are they portrayed as more feminine or perceived as more feminine?
Portrayed.
That's the real question.
Tyler Perry will portray them as more. Tyler Perry is the one. The light skinned person get more. Look at Tyler Perry movies.
If he didn't follow that black girl out the door, she wouldn't have been carrying on still. She would have calmed down.
But he did it. He did it because
before.
he wanted the views. Which is
He did it because he hates
I'm
black
not taking
women,
this
and
back.
you
I
black
think it's
men keep
dirty.
watching him.
I think it's dirty. I think it's dirty, but I'm just telling you what really happened. He thinking about views, and he got the black woman for the views. I think it's dirty.
Go to the next one.
That's why I don't watch him.
Is this the last one?
No, there's more clips. I'm gonna play the pre-fight because you guys said they didn't do anything to deserve, or they're more feminine.
To hear what?
Okay, so this chat started it.
No, the point is, if that was black woman, he would have physically I guarantee he would have got up and said, "You need to leave," because I've seen him do that. Walk over by them and say, "You need to leave."
But I'd also believe if that was a black woman, her response would have been very different.
I think the argument Nora's trying to make with us is that like black women have this whole assault on black men and what they supposed to do, how they supposed to treat black women, and they're supposed to date and only marry black women. That is the line that black women are pushing. And Nora, do you feel like it's an exodus of black men dating outside of their race?
Absolutely. It's the end of Black Americans in this country. We're going to have brown Americans pretty soon because black men don't protect black women. And it's very sad to see this. I think there should be diverse relationships, I'm not saying that you shouldn't date outside your race, but this proves black men do not protect black women. And this is the
Nora,
start.
can I say
I'm
something?
telling you.
Can I say something?
You can say what you want, but I'm not changing
I'm
my
gonna tell
mind.
you, I think we need to have a whole segment on this. I'm black, right? I'm a person that's been married to 3 black women, right?
Oh, okay, good.
So I will tell you the biggest threat in my life, I've never had an issue with police, right? The biggest issue I had with police was I had a black police officer give me a ticket for some BS. Been pulled over quite a bit. Like I said, I drive a lot, right? The most of the issues I had in my life are from black women. I'm on child support twice. I made a whole song about that. One day I have to play it on here. I have had most of my issues with black women, and for somebody, a lot of black guys like me would have just left the race. One of the black women that is the mother of my daughter is crazy, right? So what I'm saying is you're seeing it one-sided. If you start to look at what a lot of black men go with the black women, if we go back to Margaret Sanger, we go back to feminism and how feminism started with white women, right? World War I, World War II. Black women were like, hold my beer. As far seriously, that's what it became. Black women were like, hold my beer when it came to feminism. Because I don't know if you know, prior to 1960, the father, even if couples divorced, the father still was in charge of the kids. The father would go work, the mother was in charge of raising the kids. Feminism, the women start taking the kids, and then the father get pushed out. I have 2 daughters. I'm a father of them who currently is not waking up to my daughter every day. Was it because of me? No. I never put my hand on my ex, never cheated. These are things you can go look up. It is public record. I send you my name. You can go look up my divorce. It was just because they were bored. There are so many things that go into this to say, oh, black men aren't protecting their women, when you have a lot of black women who have sought to the government. When they tell you that if they were on Section 8, the man couldn't be in the house. There's a lot that goes into this. And a lot of black men are fed up. It's not just a one-sided thing. I do believe it's something we need to work on. That's why I keep saying fight, right? Instead of taking black or white or whatever, black as a black race, we need to come together. We're divided, so we're easily conquered by the white man. I don't know if you remember earlier, I was telling you Choctaws. I went back to my family. I was owned, my ancestors were owned by Choctaw slaves. We are divided. So a lot of it is us coming together. But to say that black men aren't protecting you, that's just one side of it. Black women play their role in it too.
I'm gonna second what Volker
Lord.
says. I think the biggest threat to the black man is on the same level as the police as a black woman. And I can speak from experience with my own mother, with my baby mom who's half black.
Your baby mom is white.
She's half black.
She's
And
white.
We
basically,
And your
talking about
current
right there.
girlfriend is Puerto Rican psycho.
That's what we talking
So
about
I
right
don't want to
there.
hear
Right
this piece
there.
of mind BS. I said it because we talked about it today on the live. Shout out to Lunch with the New Parties, 12 p.m. on TikTok. I don't want to hear this. And next, 85, what do you have to say?
Let me finish.
Hey, you know what?
She's showing the stereotype. Let me put on.
Hey, you know what, Nora? No, we uniting right now as black men. That's what Nora don't like.
So,
we uniting right now
because they use the police. Black women say all this
All
stuff,
right,
and they
sorry.
use the police as a weapon against the black man, and also just the very concept to say black men who are under such a stress from the government and being in America at all isn't doing enough and needs to protect black women. Like, that's just like one of the most selfish things I feel like I've heard. But my bad. Go ahead, Slim.
Well, no, I was gonna say I agree, and to a certain extent, I can't make a comment. The reason I agree is because I see what's going on with the black man, like the black woman. There's a lot of degrading of black men today. There's a lot of putting us down, even on TV shows. There's a lot of girl power shows and things like that. So all of that is actually out there to make us look less than. What I can attest to is I stopped dealing with, relationship wise on that level a long time ago. Not to say I won't date a black woman again. What I'm saying is I have both of my children are conceived from Spanish and Caucasian. So I don't have children from a black woman, so I can't attest to certain things when it comes to that part. But right now, I do see what these gentlemen are talking about when I look at the overall spectrum of what's going on today. Like Joy Reid, like when I used to see Joy Reid, when I used to see her on TV, I used to get so mad because of the way she talks to men in general. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's just not too many Candace Owens type of black girls out there. You know what I mean? It's a lot more vocal, a lot more alpha females out there when it comes to black women. And again,
I think it's a joke that you guys think that the only peace comes from non-black women. I think that's a stereotype. I think that I feel like you guys are gonna, no offense, because you guys came from black mothers and black families, you're gonna attract what you grow up in. And if you had a
Nora, we can't because you came from a black father. Life starts with the man.
And again, I'm generalizing.
That's half the picture. But
I'm not black and white in it.
I still have a black woman. So
hold on, Nora. I'm not black and white in it. I'm generalizing it when it comes to women in general.
But I was going to land my plane. If you came from a chaotic life growing up, you're going to attract a chaotic spouse. It doesn't matter. So to say it's a race thing, I don't agree with that.
No, when you heal, you don't.
That's all I'm saying.
I had to heal.
And I get that.
You don't.
Jay, what's your thoughts on this?
I was gonna say, I feel like seems like there's a lot of confusion between like just overall sexism and race, because I just feel like men in general, we hate our energy when we hate women to match our energy, because if we do, we feel challenged, like they're being bitch or they're acting masculine, when really they're just matching what they're getting. And we're so quick to call women being masculine just for standing up for themselves, just like defending themselves, and I just feel like men have just such like an entitlement of women should act a certain way and we should be respected a certain way, when really, I mean, what world have we created for women? We created a world where they can't walk to their cars at night by themselves. They can't go on elevators by themselves. They can't go near vans. They have to go in groups when they go out at night. Like, what world have we created for women? As men.
We didn't create that world. We created cars and car washes. Before cars and car washes, women couldn't go out in nature because they would get attacked.
The reason why
So
women
to
can't,
say
because
that, no, that's not true.
no, it is. It's because
It
men
was a
exist. And the reason
bear.
they can't
A
do it.
bear attacked him, a lion, or
There's a
some
reason
horny
why
dude.
women prefer bears. There's a reason why that's a real thing. Like,
And they stupid. Go ahead and see what a bear do to you.
no, because a bear's not going to gang rape them. You know,
Yeah,
like, that's the point.
they
I think
only
we're
need
missing.
to. They only need to single grape him. A bear is a bear. He don't have to get a gang. He's a bear compared to a human. He
I
can
think
handle that on his
see,
own.
this is the point I think we're all missing here.
And then he gonna eat her after.
I think
Come on, man, with this.
everybody should be valued, right? What Jay is saying, you're saying like we'll be valued, but everybody should be valued.
Created a
So
world.
Sonora, you can't tell a black man he has to stick up for a black woman because like that's not his job. That's not like he has to take care of his family. He has to
You know
take care
what?
of his home,
I'm going to
his
put it back
life.
on here.
So what's the black woman? What's the black woman's job then? We keep talking about what the black man's supposed to do. What's the black woman? She just supposed to act up, or should she
said
be
it
the help
perfectly.
me
I'm
and
just going to keep it
cooperate?
up there.
And we
Read it.
never.
He does it because nobody will challenge him. Black men disrespect women. No one would speak like that about Latin or white women. They won't stand for it.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I don't agree with that either.
Yeah.
But when, you know, Jay, what Jay said, energy is matched.
Right.
Right. You have a lot of black women who are combative. You see it on TikTok. You see it everywhere. Joy Reid, prime example. Joy Reid talks so bad they pay her to disrespect men, but we don't call her out.
And Nora,
If you're going to call out black men, we're going to have to start calling out these women. My wife don't do that to me. Like we'll have our go, we'll go back and forth. But if I get to a point where I'm like, it's done, she's like, okay, I trust you. It's done. She might finna wait, but we don't have to go there. But I've dealt with it in the past where it wasn't that. It was bringing the police into it, bring this, I'm leaving, I'm going to take the kids, all that.
And to me, with the Candace Owens fatherlessness movement, I honestly think the women are the reason for that. With the Black MAGA, what Candace talks about, because we don't talk about that these kids that be gangsters and doing all this chaos, they come from single mother homes. They're not with the father, though. They're not living with the father and going out and gang banging and committing crimes. Most of the time, they're living with a single black mother.
Yeah, because the father ain't gonna put up with it unless he weak.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, statistically, say single black mothers raise the worst children. They have the most children that are mass incarceration, impoverished. That children come from even single father homes are actually the best kids.
Hey, Gray, let me say something, because when you say it like that, it sounds bad. I want to make it sound good, right? Here's why that happens. A mother is a nurturer, right? A mother is only being in her right place as a nurturer. A father is supposed to be a disciplinarian, right? So when you take the father out the picture, all they get is nurture. It's just like taking too much of vitamin C. Eventually, it's toxic because you took too much of it. As a nurturer, you're getting too much. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just that you need that masculinity in the picture for the societal structure. If you don't have that, they're just going to be animals and just be all over the place because there's no boundaries. That's what they're supposed to implement, is boundaries, or our boundaries. Yeah,
absolutely. I think we had a good conversation that night. Was that the last one, Nora?
Yeah, I just want to say this. Of course, y'all are probably mad at me. Proves my point. Y'all don't like black women. Y'all said it at some point. Logo, you acknowledged that I was a black woman, and yeah.
I don't like my black woman. That's messed up.
I don't think you do. I don't think you do.
I love
see
my
what
mother.
The comments are after. And it's so sad because if this was happening to white women, White men would not say this. I promise you. If this was a white man that did this to white women, the outrage would be there. I promise
Trump
you.
just did
That's
this
just
to
facts
white
right
women
there.
across. Trump just did this to white women across the country.
If it was more black women like you, Nora, we wouldn't have to have this topic.
Exactly.
I've never called the cops on any of my kids' fathers. I don't get child support.
That
And
leads
all
right
my
into my point. If it was
but all
more
Yeah,
my
and
black women
I
girlfriends.
like
do.
you, if it was
I pay
more
more in
black
child
women
support
like
than rent.
you, we wouldn't have this conversation. So
I pay more in child support than rent. So
how do we teach black women to be on your level? That's what we need to do, and then I think we could.
I don't know. I'm not married, so I guess I'm part of the problem too. But I proved my point. So, um, anyways, my closing thoughts on this, and then I'll let everyone go around. Black women, I know you don't think I'm a black woman, but I will always stand for you. I will always defend you. I've gotten so much hate on TikTok from foundationally black people that I'm not black, but I will stand for you. Gray, what's your closing words?
I'm glad we were able to have this conversation. We touched on a lot of topics. Jay, I know we talked about a lot of black issues. Thank you for giving us your take on it.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
It was a good conversation. We always go deep, and I like that everybody gives their personal experiences as well to make the conversation better. What about you, Slim?
Hey man, I want to say thank y'all for another good show. This was amazing. Good topics. I want to encourage all black women to be like Nora in the future, and we can move forward and have more good shows like this. And the Steelers are 9-3 in first place, by the way. Salute.
So, hey, if they go to the Super Bowl, are you going to get us all tickets so we can go?
Hey man, I'm gonna pray to God we go, and I will try my hardest. No cap, I'm saying this live. If we go to the Super Bowl, I'm doing the best I can to get everybody tickets. The new party. Let's get it.
Let's go Steelers Super Bowl.
I'm gonna go to Jay,
CJ.
then we go let Volger close us out. Go ahead, Jay. What's your closing thoughts? Your mic is muted.
I really enjoyed tonight. Thank you. I'm glad we can talk about something that wasn't Donald Trump. The conversation was great. I learned a lot. Info, especially about Drake and J. Cole. Thank you for that deep dive.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel more well versed on the beef now.
Right.
Especially being from California, you're obligated to be Kendrick or die. So
right.
Actually, guys, we are transitioning away from politics. We will have politics mix in, but moving forward, we are going to mix in more entertainment and current events.
Great.
Yes. So tomorrow night, we're doing a special video. It's girls only.
Hold on, the Volger that gives his closing thoughts.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I forgot, Volger. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to.
Oh yeah, Slam made me go get this right now. So we in first place.
Yeah. Oh, we got a Christmas Day. We got a Christmas Day battle on Netflix.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we definitely gotta stay in contact for that. But
okay.
My final thoughts are we gotta black men and black women, we really gotta have a conversation. And so the election, I know we're getting away from politics, but I want to say this. There's something with the election where the election was a really good example of what's the problem with us. The black women were going against the black men in the vote of the trust. If black men are supposed to be the leaders, because that's what y'all say a lot, we're the leaders. A lot of black women, it should have been less black women voting for Trump versus the black men, because the black women, if the black men are the leaders, should have been like, okay, maybe there's something they see that we don't, we're going to trust them. And it should have been 78% black men voting, 78% of women voting. So
okay, but
that is the issue.
Black women didn't vote for Trump because of shit like this. They're sick of being disrespected, and the red pill movement disrespects black women.
No, I know
the reality of why black women
I know what you're saying, but that's what's in the
and
in the background.
This is
okay. I'll put it to you like this: there are a lot of black women who go online and say they only date the Travis Kelce's or the guys with money, the NFL players. But when you go offline, I'll tell you what I do. I'm a ride share. I'm not rich. I make kind of money because I got a catering company and things like that. But I do a lot of ride sharing when I'm in downtime. I get hit on by so many women that will probably go online and be like, I only date the guys who make $500,000 a year. But you looking at somebody that is right under 6 figures and they want me to log out my app to go on a date with them. And I have to tell them I got somebody. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of what we see a lot of stuff online, but in real life, that's not what's happening. But what I'm saying is we got to come together. And feminism has said that women need to have the main voice. That's not the thing. Until it gets in nature, the men are the stronger physically. Women say that we need to be the leaders. Y'all gonna have to let us lead. As black men, we're not trying to take y'all out back and tie y'all up and force it. Y'all are going to say, you know what? Let me find this guy. I trust his judgment. Even when I don't like it, I trust his judgment, and I'm going to go with that. Until that happens, there's going to keep being a civil war between us. So you can say that black men aren't protecting you, but until you can go find a black man and say that I'm going to trust his and go behind him, even when I don't agree with it, this is going to keep happening. Black women have got to the point where they think they got too much power, too much say, and they don't want to listen. Until they listen, because we are ordained to be the leaders, this is not going to change. When it come down to fighting, who are you going to want to put out? The men or the women? At the end of the day, when it comes to defense, and it really comes down to defending the castle, who do you want to go defend? Who is best suited to defend?
Nora, respond and then close us out.
Okay, so I just want to say this. The most educated women in America are black women. The most number one business startups in this country are black women started businesses. So when black men are putting in the work, then you can lead us. But until then, and while y'all continue to support
who's the most evicted?
You will
who's the most
lead.
evicted?
I will tell you
go
that.
Look up and see who's the most failed business, and go see who's the most evicted. It is black women.
I will tell you that. I'm gonna be like Candace and go get me a white man. That's where I'm at right now. But anyway,
go look up who's the most evicted. And that don't mean nothing. Y'all the most educated, but y'all the most evicted. How you the most educated, the most evicted?
And look at you. You took a comment that I made, a fact that I gave you, and you poo-pooed it.
No, because it's only half of it. I'm giving you the other half of it. We're better together.
Black men leading them, and I'm in agreement to some extent, 10 to 20% of the black vote, because y'all are not protecting us, and they felt like the Democratic Party was protecting them, even though they're not. I'm agreeing with you on that. Feminism, we're right here on everything you said, Volker. But what I'm saying is, until you guys acknowledge why black women felt to go trust the Democratic Party for protection, till you acknowledge that, y'all not gonna get it.
But they gave y'all PPP loans and WIC. We can't compete with that.
Oh Lord. Anywho, so
all right, I'm gonna stop.
Politics, but we are going to mix in more current events. Tomorrow night, we're going to be doing a special video. We have Purple People person coming on. She was featured on the Megyn Kelly show. We'll be talking about cyberbullying and people getting doxxed. I really appreciate this honest conversation. Hopefully, we can all still be friends. No hard feelings with me, but it's okay. And moving forward, we'll be back on next Tuesday and Wednesday, live streaming at 8 p.m. Special announcement to make. I am moving my Broke Woke show to Rumble. It's going to be a Rumble exclusive show. I'll be putting out shorts and information on that. That's my closing words. Gray, did you have something to say?
No, thank you guys, everybody, for coming, everybody, for your hard work. I appreciate you guys for sure. I hope you guys had a great holiday. I'm looking forward to the next video.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
For sure.
God bless, peace, and love.
Always vote.
Always vote.